Alright, today I'm going to show you my commute to work. It's probably not your typical London commute. Right now I'm in Richmond Park, which I cut through on my way to work. It's an enormous park in London, very beautiful, full of deer. I'm very lucky that I get to come through here every day. I'm going to show you my setup for my commute. I use a hybrid bike. This is my Boardman, and I of course wear a helmet when I cycle to work. It's autumn now, so I have all my lights on. So I've got my front light, my rear light. I also, although the guys at the bike shop tease me a bit, have a mirror on my bike. Can't quite see, but I do like to have that. I like to know it's coming up behind me. And my other major concern is that I'm seen on the road in the traffic in the dark. So I wear your typical commuter bright yellow, so nobody can miss me. And this pannier is perfect for my commute to work. It holds just enough for a change of clothes, and I'm fortunate enough that at work we have changing facilities with lockers and showers. So yeah, this is a handy setup, and I carry all the other typical things you bring to work with, of course, my phone so I can get all my miles on Strava, and yeah, my keys, everything else that you need. So that's my setup, and now I'll show you what the ride is like. Alright, so I usually start my morning looking at the weather to determine how many layers I need to wear. Then I start up my Strava before I head out. Now this morning was pretty cold, so I brought out the winter gloves, the waterproof, rather large gloves, but they keep my hands warm and dry and make the journey more pleasant. And then off I go. Now my journey starts with a hill, which is great on cold days because it gets me warmed up straight away, but my legs aren't usually quite ready for it. And then at the top of the hill I have a nice straight flat stretch. It's not too bad, this part of my journey. It's a nice road, not too busy. And then I come up to an underpass which gets me underneath a rather large, very busy roundabout, so it's nice to have this. This section coming up can actually be quite narrow if someone's coming the other way, but I usually take it quite slowly. And then I follow along the cycling path, which is a very nice green leafy area. It's coming up to Putney Heath along here. And then at the end of this parking lot is a pub, which is a really popular pub in the summer with a large beer garden in the front. And it's like being at a country pub in the middle of London. It's quite interesting, quite a nice place. And then as you can see, it was very pretty this morning with the mist hovering along the ground. Now this section of road coming up just after these houses I really enjoy. I usually, when I'm not filming, I just pedal full on to the end because there's no side streets coming out, so I can really get my feet going and get some speed along here, enjoy it like this guy here. Unfortunately then at the end there's a roundabout which I didn't quite make this morning and had to wait. And along here is quite good. It's busy, but it's wide enough for everybody, so it's not too bad. Unlike this next section coming up, which if there's a bus coming up the other way, the other cars can't fit, and there can be a bit of a jam here at times. And now this intersection, this never happens. I never get straight through straight away without waiting for a while for the lights to change. But yeah, I was really lucky, and then again a green light at my turn, so neither of those things normally happen, so I was having good light luck that morning. And along this road, I don't like this road. got speed bumps and you drive between them, but there's potholes between the speed bumps, so it's not very nice, and you have to drive quite close to the parked cars. Not my favourite. And this is Richmond Park, my favourite part of my journey, even though it is uphill. It's particularly busy this morning, but you know, the cars respect the cyclists for the most part along here. So yeah, it's an enjoyable part of my ride. If I'm lucky, the deer are out. I get to see some wildlife. But yeah, it's a nice road. It's nice and smooth. Then I come out at Sheen Gate and go through this lovely neighbourhood full of beautiful houses. And yeah, I come down the hill, and at the foot of the hill is all a bunch of shops and restaurants. And yeah, then I end up at a train crossing. And unlike these guys, I don't take my bike up the stairs. My bike with the panniers, it's just too heavy to be bothered. I usually just wait, although sometimes waiting can mean 10-15 minutes on a bad day. Yeah, then through I go. Now my journey's changed quite a bit since the start, about a year ago. I used to take a lot of side roads, dirt paths, you know, to avoid the traffic. Now I prefer the smoother roads, the faster ride. I still hate turning right against traffic like this scenario here, but it has to be done sometimes. And this is my approach up to the Thames River, which you can see coming up here. And yeah, it's absolutely stunning along here. The houses are gorgeous. It's a sunny day, it's just really bright, and I'll be crossing over that bridge you can see on the right in a minute. Also on the right there is a path that does continue to follow the river, but it's a dirt path, and because my commute is 8.5 miles, or just over 14 kilometers, it's just too slow for me to take a dirt path for a large part of my journey. There's joggers and walkers and dogs, and just too much, just too bumpy, so it's more scenic, it's not an enjoyable path to ride on a hybrid bike. So I'll go over the bridge, and this is Chyzyk Bridge here, so I'm coming up into Chyzyk. I don't go through the high street or where the shops are, I go through the residential area. Yeah, this stretch is quite a good one. It's a nice neighbourhood, the road's in good condition, most days the traffic isn't too bad, and yeah, so it's just about a 5 minutes worth of pedaling down this road. It's a little bit curvy, which makes it more interesting, I guess. And then now I'm coming up to Brentford, and there's an intersection here that when I first started cycling for months, I got off my bike and walked through as a pedestrian because I couldn't navigate it. I wasn't confident enough to get involved with the traffic. As you can see, I'll have to cross multiple lanes here. You just have to wait till there's a gap where the lights are changing, and you get halfway across. So this time I was lucky, I got all the way through in a green light. So yeah, this is Brentford, which I'll skip through because it's not exciting. And then I'm cutting up through to an A road, which is the very end of my journey, my least favourite part of the journey, as you'll see in a minute. I have to cut onto the pavement. It is a shared pavement. There's no other way around it to connect as a cyclist. And then along this cycling path, which luckily, because this is an A road, it is segregated. However, it's always got pylons and construction going on around it, and it's not maintained well, but it's better than being on the A road for me. Now coming up to my final crossing. So this crosswalk is a shared pedestrian cycling crosswalk. And then up to the gatehouse to enter the campus. Once I find my pass, the security guard will let me in. And then I just try to find a parking spot as close to the changing rooms as I can. And so that's my commute. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to ask me any questions in the comments below. And our next video will show you what Nathan's commute's like. Today, we're cycling to a spa. Yay. We have what, 45 miles to go?
No, about 50.